Hi,
Hello,
how are you?
I'm good, Sejal. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just really excited for this live session, and
Same
I
here.
hope our listeners will be enlightened with all that you're going to share today.
I just hope so.
So, super thrilled to be having a conversation with the founder of Pragna Foundation, Sahana Krishnamurthy, and she's going to be unveiling some facts about adoption that will prove an asset to all our listeners. And I can't wait to discuss all that she has accomplished. Um, We are also going to share a lot about her journey and behind creating awareness about adoption in India. So before we go ahead, let me give some introduction to you about you to our listeners. So Sahana is a passionate blogger and a management professional. She has been dedicatedly enlightening and guiding prospective parents through her channel, Mom Story by Sahana. She achieves this by sharing authentic, real-life adoption stories from individuals within her community, also connecting through messages and calls. Sahana's impactful work extends to her role as a published author with her book Beyond Warm, delicately and captivatingly exploring the subject of adoption. The reason she is drawn to Pragna is her firm conviction and the beauty of adoption experiences. She aims to establish a strong, enduring foundation that ensures the normalization of adoption within the society.
Thank you so much, Sejal, for such a beautiful, introduction to me. And I'm really excited, and I'm really grateful that you have given me this opportunity to talk about a subject like adoption, which usually people do not talk so easily.
Yeah, I have been seeing a lot of your content, and I really felt inspired. And I think people should know more about this, and we should normalize adoption.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. So should I begin with the questions?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah. So, I would like to ask you, can you tell us something about your professional journey and how did you choose to become an adoption advocate and blogger?
Okay, so my education wise, I'm an engineer and I then did my MBA and I worked a lot in the learning and development sector into training and marketing for about 8 to 9 years, right? In different sectors, like I worked with insurance, I worked with education, I worked with government also, and I did a lot of content writing stuff. This writing thing was quite natural from my childhood days. I used to write a lot of short stories. I was very fond of stories, storytelling, and as well as listening to stories. So sometimes I do bore people by telling stories, but that's a different set that probably we can talk off the record or later. So while I was writing these stories a lot, and then that blogging, that was something which my colleague introduced to me. Said, why you write stories? You're writing in diary, you're writing on like keeping word documents. Why don't you start like putting it on web, so it's going to be helpful for others, they will read it. I'm like, okay. So then I started blogging, and I started a blog called Life in a Metro, and I did write in that blog for almost 6 7 years actually. But recently I have not been writing in that. And then slowly and gradually I realized people don't want to read. They're like more into watching videos or listening. So I said, why to waste so much of time, like your fingers are aching typing and then you're thinking so much. Let's put it on, like a video format and an audio format. And I started doing, video content as well. So that was called Ek Pyali Chai, and that channel never took up, to be very honest. It was only for my close friends who were my subscribers, and they used to listen to that stories and the poetries or whatever I used to write. So that was when, and that I always had this inclination for the content writing and blogging and all those things, and that's how I became a blogger. Now coming to the main question, how I became an adoption advocate, what people call me. So it was long back, let me give some background to this. I think I was in 12th standard or 11th standard that time in 2000. And there was a lot of news about Sushmita Sen adopting a child, a single mother adopting a child. Where everybody, like I used to listen to adults around me talking about ki, Miss Universe, why is she doing that? She can get a lot of other projects. Like I don't know, maybe it's some kind of, marketing tactics
Yeah.
or, like all those stuff. I said, what's wrong in that? Like she's doing such a good job. Like she's making it very clear. And I was very inspired by her open-mindedness that you need not birth to become a mother. That was very clear with whatever she said. And that inspired me a lot. And I said to myself, like, someday I will do this. I didn't know when, how, I had no idea. But someday I will do it. That was something I promised myself. And then life continued, and I'm really grateful to God. I'm blessed with a spouse who synced with my idea, because I did not have to fight a big battle to, tell him that, okay, this is what I want to do, and you also have to be a part of this. So when I proposed the idea, he was very keen, said, okay, fine, yeah, we can do it. So then, long story short, so we decided and we registered and we went ahead and adopted our daughter, and we brought home our heart child. Now, casually I used to help people, like they used to come and ask, Acha, you did this, what is the process? And then at this point, I would like to mention about someone really special to me. His name is Mr. Anup Divanji, and he's a professor in a very esteemed college in Kolkata. And he is also one of the core members of a adoption support group called Atmaja in Kolkata. Okay, he's a very senior person. And during our journey, when we had some doubts, like we didn't know how to deal with couple of things, so he was the one who guided us. He said, like, no, no, you should do like this. This is how you should talk about it. And, this is how you should tell your, like parents or your friends. So this was a lot of, guidance that he gave to us. And he was like, okay, now since you have recently adopted, so you know the process, you have gone through that. So if somebody comes and asks me, I will refer your name to them. And that's how I started guiding people. They used to call, they used to say, okay, Sana ji, tell me this, you did this, acha, what to do about this, what document should I take, or should I call the agency or not? So like this generic questions I used to help. I was doing it casually for almost 3 years I did. But twist came in the year 2020 when I was actually taken aback with one of the calls that I got. It was actually a very distant friend of mine, and they expressed the desire to adopt. I said, okay, that's very good. Tell me, how can I help you? They're like, look, Sana, my family is very conservative. We all are very fair. We all are, like a high class, high profile family. So I don't know what kind of children will be there in the agency. But tell me, how can I select a child who looks pretty much like us, who is very healthy, and who has so and so color of eyes and blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh gosh, I never thought about this, like this also could be something in somebody's mind that you are not going to shop. You are not going
Yeah,
out
that's
buying
true.
or selecting a child. Imagine you get a child and you don't know what kind of genes your own, like your biological child is carrying. You don't know how the child is going to turn out to be. You don't know, like it's all God, somebody sitting up there and he is directing everything, all this movie that we are like playing here. So that was when it kicked me really hard. I said something should be done about this. This is not the right way. If the friend whom I know from so many years can think like that, there are millions of people in this world who will be thinking alike. And there has to be something we should do. I was like, kuch to karna hai, kuch to karna hai. That was like kind of running in my head so badly. Then I told my husband, I said, see, this is not done. I want to do something about this. Somebody has to do. And
Yeah.
I started searching for a lot of YouTube videos. Okay. The first thing I did was started searching for content. I could not find any Indian content. Okay. I found a lot of content on adoption, like children who were adopted from India who went abroad. Now they are talking about their life over there and how they miss, their culture or whatever, like how they are happy over there. I was like, कोई तो होगा जो इंडिया में जिसने अडॉप्ट किया है. Somebody would have told something about that. I couldn't find anything. I was like, just one video, and that was also like not giving much, information about it. So then I expressed this to my husband. I said, like, Rishu, look, I can't sleep. I'm not able to sleep because there's something some we have to do. He is like, okay. So then again we went back to Anup Divanji. We called him. We said, sir, this is what is happening and this is, I want to do something. And he said, Sahana, you do a lot of video content. You are doing a lot on the motherhood and parenting and all. Why don't you start creating content on adoption? It was like, yeah, why not? So that's how, my channel Mom Story by Sahana was born, where my focus was completely, it shifted towards making content on adoption. So that is the long story about this.
I have actually, even when I searched about it in India, and I have not seen much of the content for that because I feel in India people are not comfortable with this also. A lot of people
Correct.
have a lot of questions, I mean, some things are very surprising to be living in India, and when you see such things, it's very surprising that people have that mindset. But it's good that you have created a place where people can openly talk about it, and you can, you're making a lot of people aware about it and making it normal for people, and that's what I loved about your work.
Thank you so much. Now I think last 1 year down the line, not down the line basically, I'll say from 2021 onwards, I saw a lot of other people also creating content about adoption. That too in India, like, the lawyers who are talking about the process, how, like Kara has come into picture and why they should go for Kara and what is Hama. So there are a lot of things people have started, talking about. But in the year 2020 when I searched, really sorry to say, like I couldn't find anything, and that's
Yeah.
where I think I started.
That's a lovely journey. And so you have written a book, Beyond Warm, and which is well received and praised for its approach to adoption. Could you share with us the inspiration behind writing the book and how you aim to portray adoption in a sensitive and alluring way?
Right. See, like I told you, I'm very fond of listening to stories and like telling stories. So in my family, I have come up in an environment where they used to tell a lot of stories. Stories about Krishna from Mahabharata, about Karan, about Shakuntala story, in the Ramayana, the Sita story, how like Raja Janak found Sita and all. It's all almost related to adoption. Like neither Karan was born to his father. Okay, so
Yeah.
and neither Sita was born to Raja Janak. Neither Krishna was born to Yashoda. But that's how we relate them, and we talk about the love of like the father-daughter love, the mother-son love. So then that was always there. I used to feel, this is a good thing. Like, this, it was not a taboo probably then, but slowly and gradually with lot of things changing and people's mindset being manipulated and brainwashed, things have changed. And then when I registered and I was like honestly jobless, I will say, because I was not doing any full-time work, that job that time. I just wanted to relax and think about what I will do after, my daughter comes home. And I used to do random content writing jobs, like it was all freelance things. So that time I thought, let me start penning down my experiences. Like during the wait time, what is happening and how the process is, like how much time it's taking for, this waiting, and how my friends are, reacting to this decision, and then what my parents are talking about, what my sister is talking about. These are all, like minute things which I thought, let me start penning them down. And during this journey, through other Facebook groups on adoption, I met two more parents, two or three more adoptive parents, prospective adoptive parents, and then we formed a group. We started talking about things. Okay, if we get a child who is 6 months old, what are we going to do? If we get a child who is 1 year old, how the child will look like, how it's going to be, how our life will going to be. So there was a lot of conversations and thoughts going on around me during that time. I thought, if I'm penning down this, why not make it, in the form of a story? And if it will help people, like if I give you a book, Sejal, with all the process, with all the, like technical information, probably will get bored within 2 minutes after reading one page. But if I give you the same content in the form of a story, okay, so then it's something is going to grab your, like attention throughout.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
when, like I thought, okay, let me start writing on. So what I did, these stories which I had heard about from Mahabharata and Ramayana, I picked up those characters and blended them to the present day situations and brought up the context of this process, the thought process, the real Kara process in that, and how family is reacting, how what is going on in the mind of the mother, of the father, of an adoptee, Why is he seeking to go back to his birth parents? What closure does he need? So then to do this, I could not do this just by thinking all about, like it was not fictional. So I had to talk to people. So I took help of Anup sir again, and I met a couple of adoptive parents and adoptees, and then I came up with my own little bit of masala and all, and that's how the Beyond Home book.
That's
It took
lovely.
me 4 years to actually complete everything because while I
But that's
started
amazing.
and
Like
in
penning
between,
down your experiences and telling people about it, it's amazing. I mean, I love listening to you right now.
I don't know if you have read the book or not. If you will read, you will know. Like it's quite relatable. Whoever is planning to adopt, they will be very easily be able to relate to. Acha, haan, even I am going through this situation. Yeah, yes, yes. This was asked to us during the home study. So they will be able to relate to all those things actually.
Yeah. So I haven't read it till now, but I'll read it.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah. So, what impact do you hope to achieve by normalizing the concept of adoption within the society? And how do you believe real life examples and stories can contribute to this goal?
Um, okay, so let me ask you one question here because now you are interviewing me. Let me just do the role changing for a minute. Okay, so let us say like your child comes back from school. Okay, and it says, Mama, my friend Rohan is adopted. Okay, now your reaction as a parent matters a lot.
Yeah,
What
that's
will
true.
you say? Your reaction, like if you remember this, if you have watched the movie PK, when the Amir Khan is put in the jail, he will tell the one word, "Acha." The way he expresses in different ways, "Acha, acha."
Yeah, I
So,
remember that.
so your reaction is what matters a lot. Okay. So now this is the impact watch we as a team are trying to create. Like this has to be normal. If it cannot be normal just by we talking to adoptive parents or the prospective
Yeah.
adoptive parents. This will be normal when the general public will start talking, taking it casually. They are not going to make a fuss about it. So this is what will be my answer. Like this is how
That's
the impact
true.
has
I
to
mean, your
be.
reaction to your child over this question will make a lot of difference. If
Exactly.
there will be a negative approach to it, then the child will learn a wrong thing from you.
Exactly.
You're sure about
Exactly.
that. Like, yeah,
And
you're right about
and
that.
so this is where like the real life stories help a lot. Like when I'm talking to people, when I'm bringing their real life experience in front of other people, so they see, acha, if they are being so confident, if they are not, like hesitating to talk about it, these adoptive parents, they are so open, they are so transparent, then why is this, like made so much of us about? So then slowly and gradually, other people will also start relating. You won't believe after I started creating videos and especially after I started, like posting videos of the real life examples, real life people, I have got messages from so many people like, thank you for doing this. We were so confused. Now after, listening to their interview, after listening to what they have to say, I'm very confident. Now I feel like I can go ahead with this. Some people they're like, okay, I don't know how to talk to my parents about it. And then in one of our sessions, our senior, like she is a member of, ex-member of Kara as well. She said, "You never know. Your parents might be happy. Maybe they are thinking how to tell you to go ahead and adopt. Like so. You have to open up. You have to talk about it. So that's how the real life examples and meeting people and forming this community will help others.
Yeah, that's true. We all really need to, think before we talk about it to our children or to anybody. In fact, I think the society as a whole should understand it and should move forward with a positive mindset about adoption, which I think
Yeah,
is
and they
very,
should
very
ask.
important in India. Basically, in India, I've seen, and I feel that it's important to learn about it also.
Correct, correct.
Yeah.
I feel like come and ask me. I'll be more than happy to tell you. Like you don't have to talk behind my back. Like like why are you so open about it? And oh, why are you telling this, talking in front of your daughter? And like she knows.
Yeah.
Why should I not talk about it? She knows. Like tomorrow, if some third person comes and tells her, you know that you are adopted. you know that, like she's not your real mother. Like that's how the words they use,
And
which is
that's how the
actually
world.
not the right word. The vocabulary has to be, like polished and improved. We also talk about that in our sessions and in our videos and all. But if she knows it already, she say like, I already know this. Why are you telling me, coming and telling me this? Like then there is no friction. If I have not spoken about it, suppose if she asks me something and I say like, I don't think, nahi, 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 aisa kuch nahi hai. And if I start stumbling, if I am not confident, then I'll never be able to pass the confidence to my child.
Yeah, that's true. So, what are some of the challenges that you've encountered in your journey of creating adoption awareness, and how have you overcome them?
Okay, there are a lot of challenges, and if I start talking, then it will be a night shift for you and me. So let me just talk about one incident which actually made me strong because I am a very emotional person. I kind of feel if I am putting my heart and soul into something, and then it should always give a positive
Yeah.
result. That's how like I'm very emotional and very passionate about things. So this just happened. It's a long, I think, sometime in 2018 or 19. That time I had not even started my channel or not even doing anything of this kind of stuff. And I kind of being like a support to a prospective parent, a set of prospective parents. I kind of kept talking to them for 6 months. Okay, they used to call me any time of the day, like sometimes 10 o'clock. I don't know what to do. I'm feeling very anxious, and I used to talk to them for hours, and I used to help them. Like, don't worry. And they were waiting for a boy child. I still remember, and it was already like 2.5, 3 years then that they had waited and they had not yet got the reference. So I kept on talking to them. I explained them the process. I told them about the immediate placement option. You can try there. This also I told. So it was like a very, and I put my heart into that case. And then they finally got a referral. And I was very happy. I don't know about them, but I was like really a jump to joy. Finally they got a referral and now, like they are going to be a happy family and all. Then after 2, 3 days, I was like, why they have not called me? They said they are going to get the child and maybe they were busy. Another 15 days passed, a month passed, and I was getting anxious, like, what's happened? What happened? Like, but then I got to know from some other source that they actually went almost to the city where the agency was and they came back.
They
And they
did.
came back without getting their child. They came back, and why they came back? Because the mother's mother, okay, she kept on saying only one thing, that she's not related to blood. The child is not will go away, or the child is not related to blood. Do you think you can love the child? Do you think the child will love you? These were the things that the mother kept on saying. And after waiting for so many years, after being anxious, when she used to talk to me, I could feel that as a mother, like that instinct is there. You want to feel that motherhood. And I lost it. I was like, how can someone do like that? And then that was where, actually, I sat and told myself, like, you can only guide. You cannot
Yeah.
make them do something, right? So this was something actually very, took me very badly. Like I was quite upset for long, in fact. But then slowly and gradually I recovered from that. So this is a challenge which happens. There are parents who will talk to you, who will talk to us. They will take all the information, but then at the end they will do what they want to do. So we can't
Yeah.
do anything about that. So it's like we give our time, energy, and soul, everything. Like, okay, come sit, we'll sit with you, we'll tell you. So this is actually a challenge because still now people think adoption is only a last option for them. Okay, they will
Yeah.
exhaust all their resources. They are frustrated. They are like done with everything, the IVF thing, the medical procedures and everything. And they say like, yes, yeah, now I want to do this. And now what's more frustrating is they have to wait for 3.5, 4 years to get the child. So this waiting time is so long, so that is even more frustrating. And because of this like frustration. They have not made up their mind. They think because nothing happened, abhi mujhe, I have to go and adopt. So that is something we all are actually working, me, Digangana, Kirtana and our other team members, and there are a lot of other people who are adoptive parents. We all are like kind of working towards this, talking about it, saying that look, you can adopt even if even if you can have your own biological child, you can adopt. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong in that, and don't wait for so long because there are people. It's natural, right? Like in Indian mentality, it is like so deeply embedded, deeply conditioned. If you can't conceive, then go and adopt. It's like
Yeah.
no, that's it's like if you can't go for a 4 BHK, go for a 2 BHK. ऐसे थोड़ी होता है. It's not like that. It's not like a replacement to something. This is something that would come from heart. I have heard people coming and calling me and asking, "Ma'am, we think that our older child needs a sibling, so can we adopt?" I mean, that's not even a motivation. Think about it again. Are you ready to become parents first? If you are ready to become parent, then go ahead. If you are just trying to get a like companion for your child, go get a toy or something or play with the child. Don't think of adopting because if you are not ready for it, you will not be able to do justice with that child.
Yeah, that's true. The story you just shared, actually, I could not say anything that time because I was really touched by the whole thing. And I'm sure that it must
I'm
be
still
hard for
getting
you because when you're
goosebumps,
emotionally
Rachel.
invested with the person, I'm sure it
Of
was
course.
hard for you because, yeah. In your opinion, what are the steps that a society can take to normalize adoption and create a supportive environment for the adoptive parents, sorry, and children?
First thing
How can
is
we as a society actually work and contribute to your efforts?
So first thing is I will tell the general public, please watch our channel. Please watch the videos which are made for general public, like the positive adoption language. It's a very simple thing. Like you don't go and talk about your real mother, fake mother. अरे जिसने adopt किया वो fake थोड़ी है.
Yeah,
I'm standing pretty much in front of you. So they have to learn the vocabulary. So first basic thing. So watch videos. Try to be a part of the live sessions like this. What you're conducting is actually very good because this is kind of an eye opener for a lot of people who don't know anything about it. Like if I don't know something about like let's say for LGBTQ community, if I don't know
yeah,
something, what I will do some research or probably I'll go to somebody and sit with them and talk to them and ask. So same thing here. Ask if you have any doubt. Please come politely and ask. Don't talk in like back of my hair. Like then go and talk something, murmur something. No, don't do that. Come and ask me. Come and ask any adoptive parent. They will be happy to tell you or share like what is the positive adoption language. What is that they expect from you as a society. They will tell you. Come and talk. Be open. Don't fuss about it. Don't go and ask my child. Come and ask me. You don't have to go and ask my child about it. I'll tell you. Come. That is first thing. Second, most important thing which I feel as a society can do is that comes to schools and educational institutions
yeah.
because
I
that's
think that would be a
where
great step towards this.
yes,
Yeah,
that's where the kids learn a lot of things, lot of stuff. We have a saying in our Kannada. It's what it means. If the water comes from the shank, then that is called as teert. It is not water, and it's not water anymore. So if the teachers tell them something, okay, in the school, they actually kind of listen to that. They learn that and whatever they learn during this preschool years like until your fourth fifth standard and all, so that's they actually understand. They see teachers as their role models. Okay, my teacher has said this, so
yeah. And
education
if they will grow
institutes.
up with this thought process, I think it would be better and they will
Correct.
understand better. They will pass it on to other people in a better way then.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think schools should actually conduct such kind of events or talk shows, or they can arrange for a guest lecture or something where any of the adoptive parents they can go and talk who are willing to go and talk. Okay, the teachers should be educated about it. The
Yeah,
caretaker should be educated about it. Like what you should do if a child raises their hand and says, I actually interviewed one of the adoptees. It's there on my channel And she expressed this. She was, I think, in third or fourth standard, and they were talking something about missionaries of charity that time. And she says, I came from missionaries of charity. And the teacher didn't know how to react. It's not her fault. It's ignorance, basically. Because people don't know how to react. I say, I'm adopted. सामने वाला सोच रहा है मैं क्या बोलूं? क्या बोले? Should I congratulate or should I feel bad about it? They don't know what. See, that is why the teachers, they are actually, I think, the pillars for this. If we start educating teachers, if we start bringing this topic in the schools, it's going to make a huge difference in the society.
Yeah.
And it's going to make the society more inclusive and comfortable for the children who are adopted and who will be adopted in future. And I think Raksha Bandhan is around the corner, and now all these adoption jokes will start.
Yeah, I was coming on that because a lot of time, as siblings or even to our friends in school when we were young, we used to say this phrase, two adopted and stuff like that. And I feel that it's not the right thing. Now, when I'm grown up and I have come to this stage, that's when I realized. So if I would have gotten that knowledge during my school time, and if I would have understood that time, so I would have been, would have had a different thought process.
Absolutely. Even I don't blame you. Even I have come like that way. I used to tease my sister even when I was in, like school. Ki, mom got you from hospital. Like all kids come from hospital. So now this was something which came up in one of our sessions and we didn't know what to say. I asked one of the seniors, so how do you answer this? How do you answer this question? If somebody is teasing like that, what do you do about it? So it's like everybody comes from gutter only, because when somebody is born from the womb, it's actually a mix of all the kachra, right? It's all the blood and the filth, everything. So everybody comes from there. So that's the simple answer to that. I'm like, okay, wow, this was something like which I didn't thought about, but yes, you have to think about all innovative ways to tell children and obviously we have to use age appropriate language and vocabulary, because we can't just go and tell this to anybody.
Yeah, that's true. So any last message to all our listeners that you would like to give about adoption, or in general anything that you would like to tell our listeners?
In general, if there are any prospective parents or the parents who are watching who are thinking of adoption, I will tell, don't think too much. Visit a counselor, talk to any counselor, or even you can connect with our team, Pragna team. We will connect you to the counselor, or you can talk to us. Understand the process, understand the challenges which are there, and go ahead with the process if you feel you are ready to take up the challenges. That is for the prospective parents who are thinking to go ahead and adopt. To the general public, I will say, please follow our channel, talk to adoptive parents, and if you have any doubts, please, if you can't talk, just message us. We will be happy to help you. We will be happy to clear your doubts about that. And stop judging people for everything. I think that's the thing that I always tell, and I'm trying to learn it from a couple of years, because it comes naturally, like, oh, वो मोटी है, वो पतली है, this, अरे उसका dressing sense अच्छा है. These things, come very naturally, and we start judging people. So I think that has to we have to consciously make efforts to not do that, so that then only we can come into that inclusive, society concept. Otherwise, it's very difficult. But anyways, we all are, I think now people are trying what it was maybe 10 years back, like what I hear from the parents who adopted 10, 12 years back, and what they are seeing now. There is a lot of improvement, and I hope there will be a lot, sure.
Yeah, I hope that too, and I'm really thankful to you, because I have learned a lot during this whole conversation today.
Thank you so much.
And I would love to host a lot of sessions, and we should talk more about it. Like I think we should talk about different topics, and I would like to connect with you again. But thank you so much.
It really, more than happy.
I really felt good after talking to you today, and I think a lot of people listening to this would learn a lot from you, and maybe they will, as whole will help in making adoption normalize in India.
Definitely, it will. It will happen, but yes, it will take time. And thank you, Sejal. Thank you so much for having me here today. And thanks a lot. It was very interesting and nice to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Have a
Bye-bye. Good night.
Good night.